All right, welcome back, everybody. Now it's time for a Grassroots Citizens panel. And join me this time in studio is author and commentator Candace Chambers-Belida. Good to see you, Candace.
Good to be here.
Also in studio is undercover journalist Ryan Sorba. You're on the edge with Ryan Sorba, it says, huh? On the edge?
Sure.
Where did you get that edge at? Not from the Edge of America, did you?
I got it from the Edge of America with Rick Amato.
All right.
And then right on the edge on CNN as well.
Ah, okay. Now, Ryan, we're going to show an exclusive video in a few moments. You went undercover and got, you say you have Barney Frank's husband saying some really ugly racial comments. We are going to see that in a moment. And from Washington, D.C., joining us as he did previously is political consultant and federal lobbyist Gianno Caldwell. Gianno, thank you for hanging around for our panel.
Thank you for having me, Rick.
All right. So, Ryan, before we see the video, you went to a convention in Anaheim, California, not far from here. What kind of convention was this?
It was the California Democratic State Convention.
California Democratic State Convention. Former Massachusetts Congressman Barney Frank was there with his...
Jim Reddy, his husband of 3 years.
Before we see the video, why were you there? What were you hoping to accomplish?
Rick, I am engaged on a mission to try to defend marriage, and I want to be able to, in some way, shape, or form, try to affect the Supreme Court. And this video is an attention getter to the Supreme Court, A, and B, it is a video that highlights and shows that Democrats and gays are, in fact, racist. And it's meant to protect me.
All right, well, let's see this exclusive video.
Because it keeps the blacks in our camp, you know? I mean, it does. And menthol cigarettes and EBT cards, you know what I'm saying? And watermelon.
All right, so in that video, it's being said that we have to give black voters menthol cigarettes and watermelons to keep them voting for Democrats. But Ryan, critics are going to say, I heard Ryan Sorba's voice. This guy was just going, yeah, yeah, yeah. And it sounds like you were just goading him on.
Well, you know, Rick, I wanted to know if these persons who self-identify as gay and Democrats were, in fact, racist. And so in order to do that, I have to pretend to be one of them. And I have to make comments that I don't agree with, that I think that they will agree with. And when they do agree with them, and he does say, hey, you know, let's give blacks watermelon and menthol cigarettes so that they stay in the Democratic camp. Because what Democrats have done for years is pour social programs onto the African-American community in an effort to...
make them dependent upon that program.
And then therefore dependent upon voting for Democrats.
Yeah, right. Candace, what do you think of this?
Well, obviously, it's racial profiling. That's number one. Number two, it's so ridiculous that it doesn't even really warrant a comment. But my main focus is that blacks are not looking for an easy ticket. Blacks are looking for political persons of authority to keep their word, to do things that are going to enhance the black community, that's going to make things better for the community, not simply give us a free ride and a free ticket. Now, there are those, which I think is a small minority, that think, you know, give me this, give me that. But that's not the overall view, and for sure, not every black person eats watermelon and smokes menthol cigarettes.
Absolutely.
Now,
I was shocked by what he said.
But you were saying it.
But Rick, I was saying it because I was pretending to be one of them. And I wanted to know what they really think. I have to pretend to be like them in order to get them to open up to me.
What made you believe he was vulnerable to that message?
Because we've got all kinds of, I've gotten all kinds of undercover footage already of gays making racist comments without even asking them to.
All right.
They just did it. And so I had a hypothesis. They call us racist at the slightest slip of the, you know, anything. And so therefore, you know, I want to know, are you racist?
All right, Gianno in Washington. Barney Frank is a former congressman. Of this guy, whatever his name is, Jim Reddy or Redding or something, is his boyfriend, his husband, whatever the case is. Does it matter that he said something ugly or agreed with something ugly, given that he's connected to a former congressman?
Well, you know what, Rick? I tell you, former Congressman Barney Frank is one of the first members of Congress to actually admit that he was gay.
Right.
and he is also a star in the gay community. After seeing the footage of this video, which almost in some ways, hearing some of the things that were said, it kind of reminded me of a Klans meeting, and I thought maybe that's what it was. I wasn't really sure where it took place. I think that it does impact the gay community because as a former elected official, if you're married to someone, then they should be prepped as to what to say in public, especially around people that they don't know. And it was very, very troubling to hear those disgusting comments. Not only that, when you talk about the gay community that is saying they advocate for fair, equal treatment, and they generally say that the things that they're doing are closely related to the civil rights movement, and you hear those kind of comments, which the rhetoric actually sounds a lot like the Jim Crow South, folks that use in the Jim Crow South, you have to wonder, I mean, what were they thinking?
Candace,
who in their right mind would say these kind?
Yeah, who in their right mind would say those things?
Right.
And you say, Giano, someone should prep the spouse or the significant other of a former elected official. Why would anyone need to even be prepped on that stuff? Candace, Giano brings up the point here, I think, and that is the gay movement. People on the left, including the gays, have tried to draw a similarity between the civil rights movement and equality in marriage. And I think, personally, I think that's insulting to African-American folk that have this comparison because of a history of blacks in America versus a history of gays. But that is the point here, is it not? That they've drawn that connection.
Well, I don't think there is a connection. I mean, realistically, we're talking apples and oranges. I mean, this is one issue.
But they have gotten it out there in the American mind,
right,
American psyche.
Right, but there is no connection.
I agree with that.
And the thing about it is that no matter what color of your skin, you don't dictate the color. Okay, you can't say I want to be this or that.
But you're saying you make a choice on sexual orientation.
Well, you can make a choice on your sexual orientation. However, my main issue here is that they have made this a political issue. That the only way to get votes and the only way to get this particular group is that you have to cater to them in this manner, and that this is the group that if you do this, because they don't have the mentality really to think for themselves, and that's absurd. So my only answer to this particular video is stupid is as stupid does.
All right, Ryan, we're almost out of time in this segment. Real quick, you care to address very briefly? Care to address those that and I asked Giano, well, what if those say, well, he's a retired congressman and that's his.
It doesn't matter, Rick. He's a high-profile individual. He was one of the keynote speakers at the Democratic Convention. And in addition to that, I'm making this video in order to defend myself, because what the first thing gays do is when you stand firm on right reason on marriage is they call you a bigot. They just call you names. They call you racist. And now we've got the gays on tape making racist comments, and I'm the one defending, the notion that you should be normal and not be racist.
All right, let me just say that I want to correct something. You say the gays. Let's clarify. It's the gay activists.
Gay activists.
Yeah, I mean, let's.
And not every gay is necessarily racist, but that's not to say that these leading gay activists and Democrats aren't.
All right. So there's the exclusive video. I agree with Giano, and I agree with everyone. I mean, this is stupid. Stupid is as stupid does.
Stupid does.
And Giano, your point that, hey, you know what? This guy Barney Frank, he's a spokesperson for the gay movement, and the gay movement has embraced that comparison of civil rights. So this is wrong on all those levels. You have many other videos coming out, you say.
I've got like 10 more videos,
all right.
Rick. This is just getting started.
We will continue with our Grassroots Citizens panel after this. Back with me after this.